So I'm going to give another crack at the OS Crash PC. This is a WiiU, not a PC. I keep wanting to call him a PC for some reason. And I've been speaking with, via text, of course, with SDIO, which is a super smart person. And from giving them system logs that I was able to dump from the recovery, they're telling me that there should be an error message popping up. I would think the error logs would tell us what the error message was. It might just be confirmation, just to make sure that what they see in the logs is representative of what the console's saying. Or maybe they want me to find out for myself. I don't know. Smart people work in mysterious ways. So what they want me to do is, since I have no display on this console, which I do need to plug in my HDMI, since I have no display, I don't know what's going on. But what they recommended to me is getting the gamepad linked up and seeing if there's anything on the display of the gamepad. The biggest problem with that, however, is I can't see the display, so I don't know the pairing code. So they recommended a website, and what I'm going to try and do is see if I can get the pairing code from that. Let me see if I can sort of visualize this. Um, 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 um. I really need to clean up my OBS here. Oh, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. There we go. Just shave it down to the most important piece of information. So what this website allows is apparently I can somehow link to my PC and get the pairing code. So I'm trying to interpret these instructions because they're a little wild. I'm not entirely sure what this means. So press the sync button twice on your console and wait for the network with a name matching the pattern below to appear. Enter the 2 characters at the end of the field below. The symbol to pair the gamepad will be shown below. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be coming up as a network device. Like, so I need to try and it's implying that it's a network device. Which I currently have. I'm currently plugged in via Ethernet, so I can't check network devices. Or at least Windows won't let me. God forbid I do something like that. So let me get my HDMI cable in this console. I would say that these instructions are not very clear. Because am I supposed to find the network? But I'll try and... I wonder if this is the same person that did the recovery boot. Let me check real quick. Sort of navigating out of this. Ooh, I wonder if I still have... Is the recovery boot SD still in here? No, it's not. I don't... I need to find where I put that. That's important. Because I'm going to have to re-enter this network. Or re-enter the... recovery menu. I know it's in one of these 232 gigabyte SD cards. Ah, it's this one. Perfect. I guessed correctly. So if this is the same person that made the recovery menu, it is. Okay, so now the issue will be, when I get to the pairing portion, this portion, do I need to be within the recovery menu? And I think, because that would not make sense on the vanilla menu. So I'll expand this out a little. This is what the recovery menu will look like traditionally on a screen, but I don't have a screen. So I have to sort of do that without seeing the screen. So let me get it back into recovery menu. And I have to really time this. Traditionally, you have to time it based on when the WiiU logo pops up. I have to time it based on when my monitor reacts to an HDMI input. Just a little trickier. But I've almost had better success doing that. At least on this console. It seems like if you time it like just before the WiiU menu pops up, or the WiiU logo pops up, it works. Okay, let's give it a shot. So my monitor will kind of sit on standby. There it goes. That took a very long time. The light turned purple, which is the sign that I should be successfully in the recovery boot. So now, in order to get to the pairing, I need to navigate with the eject button. Right now it's on cold boot titles, dump system, dump OTP, local network configuration, start WUP server, pair gamepad, power button to choose. Now, back to this. Press the sync button twice and wait for a network name to appear. So let's see if I'll spot it. I might have to disconnect my... Oh, I see it. Okay, so I'm not going to show it because it shows all my networks, but it's coming up as a Wi-Fi device. So this is part of the recovery menu. And wait for this pattern to, and then enter the last two characters, which for me it's 2A. So I can at least show this because, I mean, all that string is not important. It's 2A. So that is the pairing code. Wow. Whoever made this recovery menu, kudos. Like, this is I didn't think this was like, it's kind of amazing. So let me see now if my gamepad will pair to it. I don't know if it's anything like ISFX hacks. I'm going to be unable to see the recovery menu on my gamepad. So then what I can do is just restart from here and see if an error will appear. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the recovery menu is available on the gamepad. I don't know. And what's interesting is I didn't have to press the sync button. I will now. I pressed the sync button twice. It's weird that it popped up for me, so spade and 3 diamonds. Matching the pattern below, enter the 2 characters in the field below. The symbol pair for the gamepad will be shown. I mean, I'll check and see if that number's changed. Oh, it disappeared from my network. Don't know what that means, but I do have the code for this console. I'll just keep trying it. I mean, I've pressed the sync button like 7 times, so that's probably not going to help it. If it's an OS crash, I don't know if I can pair the gamepad. So let me power off the console. I'm going to start it normally and try and sync to it normally. I may have to re-enter the recovery menu. Because I may only be able to pair it from the recovery menu. Okay, I'll try that again. It's interesting that they only need the last 2 characters of the entire script in order to determine the pattern. Seems like not enough information. Okay, let me get back into recovery menu. Disk drive sort of pulsed in and out. Oh. Almost went a little too soon there. There. Okay, give it a moment. Front light is purple again. Just like giving it a few seconds. Okay, so let's go eject to navigate. So cold boot, dump system logs, dump OTP, local network configuration, start WUP server, pair gamepad, enter. So my it did not pop up on my Wi-Fi again. Oh, there it is. Same string, 2A. So this is the correct code. Let me just see if I can enter the code. I didn't have to press the sync button twice. I wonder if that's just... if that's due to anything in particular. I don't know if I need to, like, maybe not set the gamepad on top of the console. I'll hold it a little ways away. I wouldn't think that would matter that much, just on the off chance. I don't know what the on-screen instructions for, like, what happens when I enter the pair gamepad. Display the gamepad pin and allows pairing. So, I mean, that's not necessarily too much instructions to go off of. So right here for the pair gamepad, displays the gamepad pin allows pairing a gamepad to the system, which I'm trying to do. But my gamepad is not connecting to it. Not even in the slightest. I'm going to power off and power on my gamepad. I need more plastic pry tools. I always keep misplacing them. Alright, let's go back into pairing mode. It is 2 lowercase a, it's a spade and 3 diamonds. Yeah, that's the smart person GitHub. Yeah, my gamepad's not connecting to it. Note that rebooting the system may require to use the newly paired gamepad. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. My front light is red. It's not purple anymore, so I wonder if that's like... Did I hit an error? I wonder if there's an internal issue with the gamepad pairing chip. I would expect it to stay purple the entire time. It's currently red, so I wonder if it hit an error. Like maybe there's an issue with that chip. Yeah, because I'm not having any luck, and I'm going to assume that this smart person knows what they're doing and that pairing code is correct. Well, that means I need to go in. I need to see what's going on. Oh, plastic pry tool right here, of course. Right when I don't need it. Alright, unopened console. Oop. I get the CMOS out first. Goodbye, date and time. See if it's any good. I've been surprised at the longevity of these little batteries. I mean, aside from the one that was horribly corroded that I had, pretty much every CMOS battery that I've come across has been good. Three volts. Put it in my pile of good. I mean, this console's in pretty good shape, cosmetically. Should probably just give it a courtesy wash, all the plastics at least. Because it's a little dusty inside. I'll see how I feel. I will give Nintendo credit, even though they did use more screw covers. These screw covers are very robust. They're pretty easy to pop off without damaging them. They're nothing like the DS ones that are rubber. These are like almost like a hard plastic. I've never tried reapplying them, so that might be a little different than taking them off. If I am taking this apart, I'll have to use the disk drive as a sample. I have two other consoles that developed weird issues with their disk drive when I pulled them apart to try and swap parts. So I need to kind of figure out what's going on with those using comparative disk drives. Like, it could just be possible I disassembled them completely wrong. Or there's weird voltage coming out of them, and I need to know why, what's going on. So I just dribbled a little bit of rubbing alcohol on all of these screw covers to try and just soften them up a little. I mean, the only ones that I've damaged of these screw covers was off my Roach console. But that console was so disgusting that it's likely that that was just caused by just piss and shit, essentially, not normal conditions. So that motherboard is definitely an outlier. I have two more on the bottom. Those disk drives are really confounding. Like, I'm less frustrated that I broke them and more completely just shocked that they simply don't work or just have the weirdest issues. If I broke something, I can live with that. Just like, well, whatever. Mistakes happen, but it's more I don't know if I broke anything or what. It's like in a just weird limbo state of maybe functional, maybe not functional. Is it bricked? Is it garbage? No clue. My Y tip. That's also a Y tip. It's a Y tip 3. I don't think I need a 3. This is a Philip 1. This is at least a 0. Or at most a 0. Do I have my 0 kicking around? Here it is. Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, decided that most of these exterior screws needed to be different. Oh, dropped my white tip. Get back here. We're not relieved of duty. Why? And then just randomly Phillips. This is the one that probably needs the bigger Y-type head. Yeah, fits better. 3.0. And out and up. Yeah, I think I'll wash them. They're not bad, but they could just use a squat in some soapy water. It'll be good for them. Gee willikers. Okay. Now this should come apart. These feet kind of hold on to it a little bit. I'm gonna try and get them out. There we go. Ooh, dusty. I'm gonna get the metal shielding off of the housing. Yeah, this is really dusty. So hot soapy water will be good for it. Because air will only do so much when it comes to taking dust off. Or at least my air tools aren't like crazy powerful. So this one also has that weird variation where there's only one screw on that metal shielding instead of 3. And these 32 gigabyte consoles went through a couple revisions, it would seem. This is a 101. There's another revision of these disk drives? Good lord. Okay. I think it was a... let me check again. I've seen 032 and... what was that other one? 032 and 102, not 101. So, bit concerning. I'm not all too pleased to see that. That means that repairing disk drives might not be very feasible. It almost reminds me of PlayStation 4 controllers, where there's like 5 different iterations on it. And they all use different front USB connector boards and ribbon cables. Just unnecessary. Damn, these front panel ones are on tight. 00 is having a hard time. Well, I just can't get enough torque into that little screwdriver. 0 fits a little better. Or, yeah, 0. Let's get this connector off. I'll keep this front panel connector together because I need to press the buttons. That's a lot easier to deal with it all still together. It looks like I do need to remove the disk drive in order to get underneath the board. There are 4 retention screws around the place. Ugh. I might even... yeah, probably later I'll take this disk drive. I'll just take the metal shieldings off to inspect it. If it's similar enough to my 101 disk drive, I might still be able to get valid voltage measuring and sort of comparison off of it, but if it is different, then I might be SOL on this console. I do have a couple more consoles on the way, so hopefully I'll get a little better information off of them. But I will have to add this model variation in and see if there's anything I can notice right away. Ooh, take that out. Probably need to enter the recovery menu again. Yeah, so there is a model number right here. I'm only referencing this last string of numbers because it appears right here. And my Roach disk drive doesn't have this sticker. I don't know if it fell off or was eaten, or I don't know. Cockroaches do be cockroaches. Now I gotta remove the... actually, I might not be... I do need to access the PCB, actually, so never mind. I was gonna say, I don't need to remove all of the screws in order to take this plastic housing off. I think there's only like 3 of them actually holding it on. I am actually curious. Let's see if I can find what 3 those were. I believe it's based on the symbols that are on this motherboard. I think I need to get a pillbox to put all these screws in because there's a lot of them. I'm just gonna do, I'll do this. Because when screws get down here to the bottom left of my mat, that's usually where I tend to rest my left hand, and screws will stick to the back of my hand. Okay. So if I remember correctly, there's certain symbols that I need to look out for. I think it's the triangle symbols are the ones that are through hole. Or they actually screw into the post on the motherboard, or the rear shell. Still on here pretty good. Because there are arrows. There are X's, arrows. There's a couple different symbols. This thing is dusty. This thing is really dusty. Get the fan. Well, actually, I don't necessarily want... Well, I do need to remove the fan, but I'm not exactly wanting it to be flopping around. I never did inspect the HDMI port, but I don't see anything visually wrong with it. And I also did check AV, so I really would have a hard time believing that's the issue. Oh well. I was curious, but I've lost that curiosity about trying to see if I could just remove this piece, but... Oh, does this one not latch shut? There it goes. Got a whole, like, bag full of pill sorters for like $5 at a thrift store. Might turn out to be one of the best purchases I've ever made. These things are invaluable. I might have to bug the smart person if, like, they're able to determine logs off of... or error codes off the log. Because, I mean, this would... I understand them wanting to confirm it without them saying it's this, due to the logs. Don't want to get, like, me working on a solution to a problem that's reported incorrectly. But I mean, they could just say that, like, hey, the logs are coming up with this error code, be advised. If I remember, these fan shroud screws are the same as these, same as the fan screws. They look about the same. So I will pair them up. Get this antenna out of the way. And the other billion screws I need to undo. Where'd that go? Down here. Need to get the fan shroud out of the way because there's a screw I can't get to. There we go. I don't know why Nintendo did this. This is so wildly over-engineered. I would almost say they could have made this console far more compact than what it is. Like, almost layer it like a GameCube. That should be everything. Keep the fan in, because I'm going to need it. Ooh, dusty. Right. See if I can get these pieces off without removing all the antennas. I'm going to need to remove them from the antennas because I want to get that fan shroud cleaned. I don't know why I'm being lazy. I need to do it anyway. Soap and water will take off all this dust, and I don't have to worry about any residual. Man, this thing is gross. I really need to get into the habit of actually air compressing these things off before I actually bring them in, or start taking them apart. Or take off the housings and then go and air compress it so I'm not fumbling around in this. I will give Nintendo props. The way they mounted all these antennas is kind of neat. That should make the console a little easier to... Well, actually it won't. It renders my issue the same because they're still taped to the board, but if I need to untape them, I can. Keep the fan connected, because I'm probably going to need to turn this thing back on. Well, that thing about me needing to take off the sticker is going to be right now. I try and work this cable out of this little recess. There we go. Just remove this, just so I don't accidentally bend it. I mean, I stepped on one of mine. That wasn't very pleasant, but it's not a very structurally important piece. I think it's just to keep debris out. Okay, first metal shielding. Oh, I am going to need to untape this if I want to take off the shielding. I don't need to take off this side. I'm more interested in this side's shielding, which will require me taking off the cooler. Or at least unmounting the heatsink. I think I do this with a number 1. And this cooler just needs a good old air compressing. I can't exactly do anything with the thermal pad right now. I have thermal putty coming. To be honest, I don't remember these screws being that long, but maybe I'm misremembering. Should be able to take this rear panel off now. There's going to be some pads connected to the various chips. Hey, I don't know if they're like thermal pads or something, but they could be. They're like really tacky or something. They might be thermal pads. I just don't leave them like that. So the chip for the or for the gamepad, it's going to be one of these two. So I'm just going to unplug them and plug them back in. It's age-old strategy. I don't know how married these little subboards are to the main motherboard. Like, can I reliably replace them, is sort of what I'm wondering. Okay, so I did that. Let me flip it around, and I'm gonna plug it in. See if that did anything. If I have to put it back into recovery mode, I will. I'll just see maybe if it's just a little more cooperative and wants to... Maybe it'll work just fine. Maybe it just... one of those weird errors that just plugging it and unplugging it and plugging it back in will fix. Oh, I might have a hard time powering this thing on without the front end connector. Oh. Also help if I don't plug it upside down. Okay. Just gonna power it on normally and just see what happens. Oh, it might not power on without the disk drive. Well, yes, it will power on without the disk drive. It'll show me an error that there's an issue with the disk drive. But it should at least show a screen if it were to do that. I'm just going to see if there's anything different. Okay, my display is registering an HDMI signal. But I'm still getting nothing. Turn it off. I'm going to put the disk drive in and go back into recovery. This might be a little complicated. Because I got to get the SD card in. As well as get ready to plug this in, which should be like that. All right, try it again. At least you'll be able to see the light this time. This drive sounds really good, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Front end light turned purple. Give it a few moments. Try turning on my gamepad, and I'll try just connecting it via just pressing the sync button, because now I have the code. I don't need the code. But in the recovery menu, I might have to go into the pairing gamepad in order to actually pair the gamepad, meaning that sync button is useless right now. Press the sync button twice, spade 3 diamonds. Now the antennas are a little all over the place, so I'm going to hold the gamepad a little a ways. Okay, it's not recognizing it again, so let me go back into that pairing gamepad. So right now it is on set cold boot title. Don't like it when that happens. Dump system logs, dump OTP, load network configuration, start WUP server, pair gamepad, enter. So red light's blinking. I wonder if it's in pairing mode. Oops. Ah! Entered the code wrong. It didn't register my spade and I just spammed diamond. Yes, I know you couldn't connect. Spade, 3 diamonds. Oh? I think it actually got it. Let's see what pops up. So, pin code. Failed the game. So, it's pin code, yeah, 0222222. spade, diamond, 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 diamond. I mean, this is something. So now let's press eject to proceed. So the recovery menu does pop up on this. This is really cool. So let's navigate to shutdown, and I'm just going to boot this console normally. Damn, this smart person is a genius. Like, I might be able to save this console because of this recovery menu. Now, did I actually do the shutdown? Yeah, nothing's happening on my gamepad. So, what's weird is it's not shutting down from the recovery menu. I mean, I'm still stuck here, and my navigation isn't working. Let's just turn it off the old-fashioned way. Unplug the Raspberry Pi Pico. I'm going to turn it on via the gamepad. It should respond to that command, which it does. So I'll see what pops up on the gamepad. This will be a good image for me to send the smart person to see what pops up. Oh, am I too close? I might have been too close. So right now it has the WiiU menu. Oh, my battery is almost dead on this thing. Oh, God. There is a problem with the disk drive. Code 0601400. That does not explain why it's not booting into an OS. Not even in the slightest. I need to get my gamepad charger in. I'll try just unplugging and plugging the disk drive back in. There's an issue with the disk drive. What I might have to do is take out the board and just connect it to the console without all of the drive motors. And it's entirely possible I just didn't seat the ribbon cable in all the way. Okay. Try this again. Yeah, due to the antenna placement, I might not be able to hold the gamepad over the console while it's booting. What's odd is it's not spitting a display. Yeah, I'm still getting a problem with the disk drive, so that is something to go off of. So let me remove the board from the disk drive, which I'm thinking shouldn't be too many screws. I will have to flip it over, so it's gonna be a couple screws. Because that should the board itself should should like send the OK signal even if the disk drive is like functionally disassembled. Because you can just run it with the board. I mean, it's not really a disk drive anymore at that point. It's just a PCB that sends an OK signal. I might want to get another pillbox. All right, the Lucy box will be my maybe I brushed that ribbon cable, but when I like tilted it, I heard like something move inside of it. I don't know. Oh yeah, that may have been dragging the ribbon cable against my paper towel. Okay. Nothing obvious. I don't need to remove this piece. There are 4 through-hole screws right here that are connected to rubber washers, sort of like an anti-vibration solution. Oh, will this one close? Yes, it will. And then on this revision of this board, there are 3 through-hole screws that sort of connect the... I think that might even ground the PCB to the shielding. Which may have been my problem with the other board, is I didn't ground it, so hopefully it didn't take a surge and fry the board. There shouldn't be a surge other than me just, well, I mean, there was a lot of different surges, me plugging it in when the console had power, and other dumb things probably shouldn't replicate. Because one of my disk drive only has 2 of these screws, these like small through-hole screws. But then there's another one that has 3. It might be the 102 that has 3, because that would make sense. So now the bottom housing will come off, and it will expose the PCB. And again, I don't see anything odd. Like, all the parts are there, at least. But I'm not here to determine whether or not it's odd. I just need to separate the PCB. So that will be that cable, that cable, that cable stays. This cable for the motor. Plunk. And there are 2 very small screws for the sensor. And if I screw this up again, or this like sensor doesn't work, oh, I will need to remove this. No, I won't, because this ribbon cable is connected via a plug right here on the bottom. Because this sensor's soldered on for some reason, but the other one is a connector. Yeah. Okay, so I have the disk drive. Let's try this again with the disk drive to see if maybe it was just a weird component that was keeping it from booting. Didn't spit stuff all over the place, thankfully. Power. I'm not going to repeat my mistakes. I'm going to plug the disk drive in before I put power to it. The disk drive. I might not want it to ground on anything. Unintentionally. Battery's the power. Display. These screws were missing as well. I did not take those screws out, so I wonder... Or maybe I just forgot. I don't know. Maybe a revision didn't put in those screws. Anyway, so let's power it on normally. Gamepad. Couldn't connect to the console. Is it just because of your weird antenna placement? Is that why? Let me turn the console on with the gamepad. Maybe it didn't pair before it froze. Or it didn't sync up before it froze. There it goes. Perfect. Kind of hold my gamepad up kind of above the console, but a few feet away. Now it's not connecting to the console. The disk drive should not have any impact on that. It could just be because these antennas are not exactly where they're supposed to be. Oh, there we go. I'm holding it out in front of the console. It might have to sit in between two of these points. There's a problem with the disk drive. Okay, I'm gonna have to report that. I don't know what to do. I don't know if my disk drive needs probing or what to do kind of in this scenario. So it's 1614000 or 00. Okay, well, I guess that's kind of where this stands. Is there even any, like... I don't know what to do here. I'll just try one more time to plug it in. Because I should be able to run the disk drive without anything connected to this PCB. Is there anything, like, obvious? That's kind of the problem. Because if this disk drive is, like, bricked, or, like, if the encryption is corrupted or something, then I actually don't know if I can do anything with it. At least not that I understand. That's still on nice. This ribbon cable doesn't exactly give me the most feedback that it's plugged in. Okay, let me hold my console out right in front of it again so it can ping both these antennas. Wow, it's really picky. There's a problem with the disk drive. I don't know if there's like a minimum boot needed for this disk drive. But what's weird is I hear the disk drive going, like it seems to function. Do I dare slotting this disk drive PCB into another disk drive? Do I dare? I don't want to be too hasty because I don't want to break another disk drive, but I mean, this one right now is just almost non-functional. Well, at least the board is. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to leave it at that. I'll see what the smart person says, and if there's anything that I can do as far as this logic is concerned, if there's anything that, like, if I can, like, dump it or something. Or do I need special tools to do that? Can I just hook up a Pico and dump the keys off of it so I can flash another one? I don't know how that would work, even if that's, or if that's even possible. So we'll have to see, because I hope the disk drives aren't just, like, mandatory, and it almost bricks the console if they're broken. But we'll see. I still have no display, but that could be an unrelated issue. It's just odd that the disk drive seems fine for it to throw this error. Yeah, I'll see what smart people say. So a smart person got back to me. I mean, calling them just a smart person is not giving them enough credit. I mean, they are the smart person for the WiiU. And they recommended I disable the disk drive via minute. So that's going to involve setting up ISFX hacks blind. So, I don't know how well this is going to go. I need to get the payloads ready on the SD card that is right here. The one that I've been using. I don't know. I think I might have to go into the recovery menu. Hopefully the recovery menu doesn't conflict with the ISFS hacks component. So this will be hard. I might have to find how to get to, or how to install ISFX hacks via the recovery menu. I don't know if there's any specific things here. Let's go here to download the files, which I've downloaded, like, I feel like several times at this point. Yeah, this is the third copy of ISFX hacks that I've gotten. So let me get this onto my... So we'll be dropping all of this all of these contents onto my... here. Oh, does this come with recovery menu? Oh, ISFX hacks comes with recovery menu. I'm gonna skip it because I already have a recovery menu, unless ISFX hacks already has a recovery menu. The problem is I need to be navigating menus I'm familiar with. Okay, and then I'll be using UDPIH, which is sort of the thing I use for the... Don't replace the recovery menu. Okay, cool. So I already kind of did that. The LED should turn purple. Counter timer for loading. Wait 5 seconds. Unplug the... Okay. I'm going to hope the recovery menu boots me into... Well, I should see... Okay, since I paired the gamepad, I should be able to see the recovery menu. But this will be kind of a new frontier, so I don't know how well this is going to work. And I hope I don't do anything bad. Because not being able to see what I'm navigating through sucks. So I have the payload loaded into my SD card. Get the front end connector. I shouldn't need the disk drive. I mean, I'm aiming to disable it, but I shouldn't need it to navigate Minute or the recovery menu. Why is that not going in very well? I have a deep hatred for these ribbon cables. There we go. It didn't click open all the way. That's more like it. So I need to get my HDMI set up. Just on the off chance it works. Though extremely unlikely, I just have to prepare for every sort of scenario here. And I put my WiiU in a more... Or I put it back in its metal housing so I could screw down the heatsink. These installs might take a little bit of time. Okay. We're ready to put power into it. If I do need to go into the recovery menu, I need my Pico. And an SD card. Or a micro SD cable. Micro SD. Micro USB B, I think. So I'll use this one. Old Reliable. I'll plug it in. I'll plug my Pico in via the USB-A end. So I don't necessarily need this menu right now. Will be a little jank, but I'll try and sort of... This is all rubber, thankfully. I need to time this... Oh yeah, I guess I do need the... I do need my HDMI plugged in because I need to sort of time it based on when my monitor responds to the console. Oh, cool, look at that. It's actually responding on my gamepad. I don't know how far I need to keep this console away for it to read. It was reading right here just fine. I'll just kind of display it a little better. What did it say? Wait 5 seconds and undo the Pico. Okay. I waited a lot longer than 5 seconds. But it is currently not doing anything. It's possible I did this wrong. So let me just turn it off. Let me try that again. Like it does say the LED should turn purple and a countdown timer for loading boot now.image should appear. Wait 5 seconds, unplug the Pico. I'll do that. I wasn't following instructions because I wasn't expecting anything to pop up. Not in this fashion, at least. Four, three, two, one, unplug. Oh, I think I understand. Okay, I do have the wrong recovery menu file. I misunderstood. Hang on, let me go grab it. So when it said don't replace recovery menu, I thought don't replace like the original UDPIH menu. But what I think SDIO meant is to not replace the ISFX hacks recovery menu. So let me overwrite it. Okay, let's try this now. Because I'm sort of bypassing I'm utilizing the recovery menu, but SDIO seems to be just bypassing it in a sense, or just kind of using it to carry the ISFX hacks installer, perhaps. All right, let's try this again. Get ready. I will install ISFX hacks. I mean, there's really no point in not doing it anymore. Not like you're gonna get banned on a WiiU. All that stuff's been shut down. And it enables me to make critical backups to prevent bricking. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unplug. See how well this does now. Now I know sometimes the minute menu doesn't pop up on my gamepad, which is going to be a problem. So I wonder if I am in the minute menu and it's just not, since I don't have a menu. Okay, some people report that the screen output is not working for them when minute was loaded from the recovery menu. If you made sure nothing else is the problem, you can try following along blindly by pressing the appropriate buttons. Make sure you wait long enough between each presses so the system has time to load. So what I should do is just... Let me see how I navigate this. Was it... Eject is to select. So eject would be, if I do this, it will try and boot normally. And I wonder if this is like the recovery menu and that I have to kind of try it a few times for it to work. So I'm going to do that, actually. Try it one more time. Or, well, really as many times as I need. Oh, I may have done that too late. I mean, I'm not getting anything. It's probably going to give me a disk drive error. I mean, there is no disk drive. Or is it just completely frozen? I mean, I don't think the Wii U menu is that bad. Try it again. Make sure my Pico is plugged into a USB cable. Looks like it's good. May have done that a little too late. Thought I was getting pretty good at this, but I guess not. The gamepad is distracting me. The screen changes. Does give me kind of a good heads up as to like, hey, it's coming. But I trust there's some amount of latency between the motherboard and the gamepad that the... Oh. Why am I not able to get past this step? Now, I mean, I could be in the minute menu. It's just really hard to tell if if I am truly in the minute menu, I should be able to boot. And the screen should change to WiiU. Because right now, if it is on the minute menu, it should be on patch SLC and boot from the SLC image. Or the boot, the IA. How do they put it? Patch SLC and boot iOS on the SLC. So, eject. That should launch it. Yeah, because eject is enter. Where's power enter? Oh no, those are just navigating the menus. Okay. Eject is to enter it. I'll just press power. Well, power should be menu navigation. So that means I would be currently on SD boot iOS red NAND. Okay, let me turn it off. I'm going to try that again, but I'm going to leave the Pico in. I know it tells me to unplug the Pico, but right now that's not working. I'm going to see if it like prompts me to unplug the Pico or if I need to time it. Oh, I was not paying attention. I'm just sitting here like, what exactly can I do? Like, I could try re-downloading the files just on the off chance that they're corrupted or that download didn't work really well. Or if I need to sort of troll through the comments again to see if I can find like a modified image file for my particular case, if somebody else has sort of this weird problem. I'll just unplug it when it brings up that extra string. I'll give it a few moments and just assume that I'm booting into a minute. I still have nothing on my display. The display is or my monitor is responding that there is a signal, or it is detecting like an HDMI output, but or I guess it would be input in that case, but it can't like do anything with it. So let me just press eject. If I was in the minute menu, it would be trying to boot. But it's not trying to boot. So let me just get a fresh install again of ISFS hacks. I'll even do a reformat on my SD card just to try and make it and give it the best chance that it has. So I need Okay, so I'll kind of bring this up. So I need to get my SD card as FAT32, which I have an SD card formatter, which is, this is volume H, volume H. Let me grab the ISFS hacks again. The SD card formatter is done. Extract it. SD. I need all of these files into this new volume. I'll make sure that the file directory, I don't think I've ever had an issue with any of these files not showing up. There's an extra application. There's hacks copy. That's not in that directory. It doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's kind of funny. Payloads, ELF. Yeah, everything else is here. Launching into minutes. So I'm using it via the UDPAH, which so a lot of this shouldn't matter because I'm not booting into this menu. The minute menu is just kind of piggybacking on it. Okay, so I got everything ready. Let me unmount this SD card and try again. I really don't like bothering SDIO with too many dumb questions, but I might be kind of stuck here if I can't boot in the minute. Because to my understanding, I'm doing everything correct, but something's not working. The correct FW image file, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I might have to troll the comments to see if there's anybody who has the same problem I am. I doubt it. I don't think the comments I saw went into the recovery menu for an OS crash. Not to this extent. I might reflash my Pico as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it is getting into the recovery menu, but I just keep getting stuck at the same spot. And I know, like, the recovery menu getting into it stresses about how timing is important. I don't know how much timing is important with unplugging the Pico. So if I am in the minute menu, which I don't think I am, pressing eject should boot the WiiU normally, which it would fail. And my only sort of frame of reference is this gamepad, which is currently saying it's either frozen, locked up for some reason. It's just not doing anything. I'll try it again and wait for this script to come up. 'Cause I just have to keep trying. Ah, USB-A got a little snag there when I was plugging it in. Okay. It just keeps getting stuck there. Like, this has been very consistent. I'll try and time it a little better, like the second that hits 0, I yank it. Or maybe even time it like a little before. So if I'm in minute menu, that should boot. Might take a second, but... not getting anything. Okay, I'll try it again. Eh... I guess while I wait for this, I'll reflash my Pico. I don't think that's the problem. I really don't. Because it seems to be very... it seems to be reaching this menu fairly easily. Probably have downloaded this UF2 file twice before. I really need to clean out my download folder. It's a little obnoxious. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Here's the original one. Flash it to my Pico. Okay, if I am in the minute menu, eject should boot from the SLC. And it's not. I'll try it again with the newly flashed Pico. And the only thing I can really think of doing is setting up another SD card, which I suppose I can kind of do in the background here, just on the off chance there's something wrong with this one. Shouldn't be, I mean, should be pretty good SD card still. Okay, I need to format it real quick. Oh, this was the one I used for recovering those DSIs from being bricked. I need to name it new volume. Or the DSIs XLs that had corrupted launchers. FAT32. Excelente. Grab ISFX hacks again, copy that over to my new volume, paste. What I'll do is I'll try it with this SD card, and then I'll swap it with the other SD card. Just to try and eliminate as many variables as I can here. And it's obviously responding to my Pico. It wouldn't be entering these menus if it wasn't my Pico stepping in and saying, go into recovery mode, you dummy. Three, two, 1, 0. So again, if it is in the minute menu, which I would assume it kicks over to it pretty quickly, pressing eject should boot it normally. Which it doesn't. So let me try the other SD card. Same SD card. Type, I mean. SanDisk Ultra. Same files. Let's try it again. It's obviously reading the recovery menu file because the Pico alone shouldn't be kicking it into that menu. And it is reading the files off of it, just for some reason it's just hanging. What I should probably try doing next is unplugging the little subboards underneath the console. I could start with the Bluetooth one, because apparently that can cause some problems. I don't think it would impact anything regarding the recovery menu, though. Like, it should be bypassing everything. If it's anything like the recovery menu on the DSi, like, I'm booting pretty much before anything on this console. I also wasn't really paying attention. Oh, it looks like I hit it again, okay. Because it's detecting boot one now image. I might have to ask SDIO. I really don't know what to do. The only thing I can think of doing is, if I'm misunderstanding this step, the replacing the recovery menu, if I need to use the UDPAH recovery menu, as in, like, don't replace the UDPAH recovery menu, or if I need to be using minutes, the ISFX hacks recovery menu, and then this is to be interpreted as don't replace the ISFX hacks with the recovery menu. So if something's wrong, I need to make sure I have the right FW image. So I don't know if there's like any alternative. Oh no, this broke on him. This is the unencrypted FW image. I don't think that's what I need. Okay, so if I am in minute menu, eject should boot me into the normal And yeah, it's still not responding. I need to interpret this as I just need to interpret this as not to replace the ISFX hacks menu. If not, make sure you have the correct FW image file on the SD card. I don't exactly know what that means because there's only one FW image. I did follow the instructions for this, and I didn't have an additional FW image. So yeah, I think I might just have to sit this one aside for now. I might have to troll through the comments to see if I can figure out anything, if there's an additional FW image I can try. That'll help me boot into Minute, because right now I'm just kind of stuck. I've tried everything I can think of in regards to getting to ISFX hacks. Unless there's a way to navigate it through the original the original recovery menu, not this sort of modified recovery menu. But I don't want to try that, especially if this program was not meant to be accessed in that way. And I don't know how to modify the FW image. They're saying, I remember seeing something about it being, yeah, TV supporting Minute only outputs 1080p through HDMI, no picture on gamepad, nothing else, analog inputs. I mean, I could see if I can even open the FW image. If it's an image file, I wonder if it's like a disk image, and I won't be able to open it unless I mount it. Yeah, because opening it up in Notepad++ is just gibberish. So yeah, I need to do some reading, and if I can't determine anything, I'll just have to carry on with my comment string just to see. Like I can't seem to bypass this step. I feel like I'm doing everything right, so what am I missing? Do I have the incorrect FW image? Is there a specific one I need? Things of that sort. I'll see what I can find out. So I did some additional work on this WiiU motherboard, and I got somewhere. I followed SDIO's recommendation. I installed ISFX hacks, and through the Minute menu was able to disable the disk drive in the CPROM, and that fully brought the console back to life. I still don't have a display on my main monitor. I mean, I did have my monitor shut off, but I still get nothing on the display. So I don't know what that's about. And so I'm thinking like maybe it's this chip right behind the HDMI port, if it's like a redriver or retimer chip that just went bad. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to try and source that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's something with the display settings. There's a problem with that. Either the applications don't boot or they completely lock up. So for example, this account that's on here has parental controls. So when I go to remove the parental controls, I guess in this case, the application is just simply not going to launch. But what's happened before is I could get it to launch. I could begin starting to generate the inquiry code, and the whole entire thing just locks up, which it's kind of doing right now. It just, like right now, it's just completely frozen. And I can still hear the music, so my gamepad didn't disconnect. This is just what the console is doing. And it's doing this for every application I've tried. Like, I'm able to enter the settings, I'm able to navigate to certain options, But when I try doing any like extensive editing on those options, locks up. Tried opening Minecraft. Never boots past the splash screen. Now, apparently that's supposed to be a problem with the two chips right underneath here, the two modules, either the Bluetooth or the like the I think it was like the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi chip. I swapped those with another console and there was no noticeable results. So right now, yeah, this thing is just completely locked up. So I have to force it down. So I have a sort of a standing message on SDIO's help form to maybe see if somebody has an answer or just a direction that I can be pointed to. If it's a bad like RAM chip, or maybe it just so happened that the Wi-Fi chip that I swapped didn't work. You know what? Just for completeness, let me try swapping 2 other chips. So here's the 3 other chips from my console with a bad disk drive, which I'm pretty sure were otherwise functional. I'm going to make a mark on them so I don't accidentally mix them up with these ones. Now, if these consoles are anything like the Nintendo DSi, the Wi-Fi chip in the DSi is sort of the cause of a lot of different issues. But I find that it actually being unfunctional is not very common. At least I haven't done enough tests to prove that it's actually the Wi-Fi card. It could be another hardware-based issue, but that sort of masquerades as a Wi-Fi card. So this module right here should be the 2.4 gigahertz module for the gamepad. And I can't swap that out because I understand this gamepad is sort of married, or not married, but it sort of saves the sync data. So if I remove that, I won't be able to turn on the console. I won't have a display. That is the Wi-Fi, and this is the Bluetooth. So I will pop those off, put them right here, and add these 2. If this fixes my problem, I'm going to be a little embarrassed, because the 2 cards I took off the console that I tested should have been fully functional, unless there's like some type of like incompatibility with these cards. Oh, am I grabbing the wrong card? Yeah, I should have gone based on antenna color. They look the same. Thankfully, the plugs are different. They could have keyed it a little better, I guess, but... There we go. And then the Bluetooth. Okay. So those are two chips. I don't want to spend too much time because I don't have any mounting pressure on the APU. I do just have the heatsink sort of smushed on it. The thermal pad is tacky enough. So let's try it. Oh, that was not good. That was fun, Pop. Well, we'll see if that causes any damage. If not, I don't mind turning this into a junk board because I have absolutely no idea what's wrong with it. It could be really anything. Like, it could be like RAM is failing. It's a Samsung NAND and it's able to boot, so I have a hard time blaming that. But I mean, arcing off of a resistor is probably not going to help my chances of improving this thing's condition. Right now, gamepad's not connecting. I've noticed that when I've tried swapping out chips, I just lose all, or I lose my ability to connect with the gamepad. So either the chips are wrong or mislabeled on iFixit, and the one I actually replaced was or this one ended up being the gamepad, not the actual Wi-Fi card. Turn it off. Try and turn it on with the gamepad. That will be kind of the most damning. Okay. No, it doesn't seem to do anything. So, if this card is responsible for gamepad connection, then it is mislabeled. Be a lot more careful not to arc stuff off of the board again. Okay. So this card right here, this is for the gamepad. I don't know, that must, like, unless I'm crazy, I think iFixit has it mislabeled. I'm gonna check it again. No, they labeled it right. I'm just dumb. So I changed out the only difference right now is the Bluetooth module. I can't change out the gamepad module unless I resync it, which I would have a very hard time, like... Okay, it's doing the same thing. So right now it's paying this, like, ghastly noise where it's just completely frozen. That's about as far as I was able to get with the parental controls before. I can get to I forgot, I see their email, I say, no, I don't have the email, give me the inquiry code so I can delete the pin, and just completely locks. So let me change out the actual Wi-Fi, now that I kind of have a better grasp. I need to see where I got that wrong. I don't want to necessarily blame iFixit, but I mean, they're kind of easy to pick on. Okay. Make it sure it's not touching anything, so I don't do any more light shows. I don't exactly like doing that. It looks like it didn't damage anything. For now. Yeah. Okay. Go back to parental controls. This is taking way too long to load, so I'm gonna make the bold assumption that it's frozen here. Like, I think the only thing I can do is redirect the SLC to an SD card, ignoring the internal NAND, or if I need to, like, rebuild the SLC and flash it back onto the NAND. Like, there's just something wrong. Like, I don't know why none of these applications work. Because right now, yeah, it's just freezing. There's just nothing going on, it just hangs. So that was with two completely separate modular chips. So I have no idea what... I don't know why it's doing that. I would like to figure it out because, I mean... disabling the disk drive to get the thing to the main menu, I get that's all part of, like, troubleshooting and stuff, but... it doesn't exactly help me fix anything. It's just ignoring the problem just to make sure everything else is fine, and then you kind of work backwards from there. I get that, but... right now, this motherboard is seeing less and less capable, or less and less likely to be actually fixed. Let me get these chips back to their motherboard. Thankfully, I marked them, so I know where they go. So for now, this thing's gonna sit. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to either try and rebuild the SLC, if I even can reflash it, or, like, it could be the eMMC is corrupted. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait what smart people say before I do anything too drastic. Especially when I'm navigating menus blind. I don't exactly like doing that. If I'm one click off, I could do something pretty gnarly, like delete the SLC, which I don't necessarily want to do. I don't even know what would happen. Probably not good things. So that's where this stands for now. I'll just kind of squat on it and get to it later.